Okay, this is going to be a long intro after you see me making my smoothie, and it's going to be a couple parts. It's about everything that I've went through, the coping skills I've learned at the psych unit I was at, and I am making a book about this, but this is basically just a couple of spoilers, if you will, but not really. They don't go into great detail about what the book will be about, and it's my crazy, unfortunate events that led me to where I got and how I got better. So enjoy. My trauma comes from things that have happened to me, which, makes the most sense. And so today I thought I would share just one part of something that really messed me up. My grandparents had custody of me, I think since I was 3, maybe younger. My mom also had another child that was not my grandma's son's, and she took custody of her, no fight back from my mom, and she raised her. She did good. She went to bow hackers. She really pushed herself and got a lot done. And then you would look at me. And I think that being the baby of the, of the household, my sister was 7 years older than me, and she didn't really like parties or anything like that. She did, however, like her sweet 16, although she bitched and got a different car. And I would say that we were pretty well off for like half my life. And then all of a sudden we sold the bar. We probably moved around from when I was in kindergarten and then into high school probably 10 to 15 times. I'd have to ask my best friend that I've known since I was 5, because she remembers a lot more than I remember, and I think the reason is because I have trauma responses that cause me to like black out. Like, she could ask me the craziest, like, every kid should know thing, and I wouldn't know it. And then not too long after, my dad died of hospice, supposedly of strokes, in my bedroom. My grandma Tackett was after that, and people were like so upset, so crying, that I thought I would help out and just open the phone book and call the people I knew that would be upset about it. Yes, I got in trouble for that, but I thought at the time, since it wasn't affecting me the way it was affecting others, even though she was my great-grandma and I loved her to death, I thought this was something that was like mandatory. Also, around the ages of 9 and 10, my mom met some man named Rodney. He was looking at time for writing false prescriptions, and that's just what I'm told, so please don't sue me. Not that I think he would. We still have a pretty good relationship, but after he got, he went to prison, then after he got off parole, completely, he left her, and after all the times they've drove up here, she acts like she can't drive up here. So I've kind of counted my mom out of my life. And then during the time of my mom leaving me, please excuse this cigarette. My grandma, who owned a bar, the only fault I have with her really growing up was, one, I was babysitted by a girl named Nikki, and she molested me, and I didn't even know what that was. I just knew it felt uncomfortable. And two, occasionally she would cry, like climb into my bed and cry about how sorry she was that my mom left and blah, 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 blah. But I think that was child abuse. Like, I never want her to see this video, by the way, because other than that, she pushed me so hard, and she is finally so happy of where I am. And the Rodney thing, the fact that he still talks to me, I don't recall abuse. I do recall when he would read me bedtime stories, he would be wearing boxers and I could see everything, and it really upset me. And sometimes I have dreams that it went farther than that, but I don't know that there's any truth to it. Jenny was not around at that time. She didn't stay with me at my stepdad's. Every time I was at my mom and stepdad's, they sent me to the babysitters. So that was a little odd. She was young, and she liked to toilet paper her ex's houses. I mean, as a little kid, it was like a dream. And she also made these best, like, sandwich things. They were awesome. Not only had my grandma Tackett died in my house, but my grandma also watched her Uncle Donnie die and took care of him on hospice. My Aunt Nay, my Aunt Carol. So I've always had this weird, like, relationship, if you will, with death. I know everyone is going to die sometime, and you can't really control it. So, yeah. And then the loss of my mom, the loss of my first two kids, which we will get into. It's like, I think I'm like calm with the fact that one day we're all gonna die. So, then comes to the point where I am probably around 15 going on 16, and I was dating this loser who was selling heroin, and my grandma thought it would be a good idea to, like, run her own bachelor show. So, sorry, this is delicious. She brings 3 guys over. Now, mind you, I live in a trailer park. This red sports car comes by and goes, "Do you know where lot 25 is?" And I'm like, I think that was my lot. Anyway, they did say my lot. And I was like, the houses are numbered, you idiot, because I was fighting with my significant other at the time. And then he said he was hungry, so I went down my house and tried to load up a bag of pretty much anything microwavable. And they were all there. Embarrassing. And then my grandma would, like, pay them to do, like, climb on the roof, clean out the gutters. And they were just always there. And then when my boyfriend at the time, he actually went to jail, my grandma thought it would be a good idea for me to date someone named Juice. Well, I can say Josh. You don't know his last name. And he lived with 3 other people. They were getting tired of his shit, so they kicked him out. So my grandma, in her wisest, let him move in. Then she also told my probation officer that I was living with her when I was living in an apartment with them. So that was something. And then when that place went to shits because the other guy boned my sister. And my sister was like, dude, one night stand, don't want to see you again. Like, thanks for the $2,000 necklace. Didn't even give it back. What a hoe. After all that, we didn't see her again. She said her therapist said it was better off not talking to us. So I think that's where I get my abandonment issues, is because it's happened so many times in a row with people. Like, it's insane. So anyway, I had to beg my grandma to let me move back in with her. And I thought, cool, like, this problem with Josh, completely over. I never wanted to be with him. And nope. When she found out that they had lost the apartment, she let him move in with welcome arms. And then another day, my grandpa decided to open his safe, and I swear the bottles were like a little bit littler than this. Like the round ones filled with perk 4s 4 times a day, Vicodin 4 times a day. And he just had stockpiled them. And he asked me if there was any money in it. And I said, well, duh, of course. And so that's how I became associated with pills. And in my mind, I'm like, well, it's just pills. Like, it's not the worst thing that I could be doing. Well, nay. Because not only was my grandpa not giving me gas, he was taking one full paycheck of Josh's, and we had a baby on the way. So, out of, I guess, anger, he would always buy these safes, and then if I could crack them, he'd want to know how. So it kind of became like a game between me and him. And then also I could just ask them for one and they would give me one. And the next best part is a woman named Juanita Willenbrink. And another Mike. Not the Mike I'm dating now, just another Mike. I'm not gonna out his name. He did nothing wrong. But, my son had gone to visit his grandparents, my mom and Rodney, for a week, and Leela thought it was the perfect time to introduce me to methamphetamine. And I tell you what, when you start something like that, it's your brain, it's hard to get out of. Like, it reprograms your brain. You feel like you need it. It's just like withdrawing from anything else you can imagine, except you're so freaking sleepy and irritable. Like pills, I'd always been able to just get off of, and it wasn't a big deal. But just within that week, I was addicted. And to top it all off, a girl that lived in my trailer park, that was her mom. Yeah. And let's see, we're at 6 minutes. Basically she said that I should stay away from her mom, but every single person, my husband included, her boyfriend included, she would lie to, she would manipulate, and she would make you think that you are the only one in the house that matters. So she would pay me to do her online schooling. I got her on the dean's list for becoming a lawyer. It was pretty great. But yeah, she didn't care about any of us. And it showed multiple times. One time, I was so sick I could only lay on my left side, and I had lost a needle right there, and everyone was trying to convince me, like, no you didn't, you're just tripping, blah 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 blah. And so I guess I kind of believed them because I didn't get it checked out. And then for 3 days I laid on my side, and finally they dragged me to the front door. They said I knocked and passed out, and I had endocarditis in my heart. They had to take care of that with a PICC line in my heart, and then send me to a nursing home, who, by the way, didn't give me all my meds. Yeah, it wasn't like one of the really great ones, but so then I was homeless for a little bit, and then I decided, fuck it, I'm going back to her house. It's just as much her house as it is mine, considering I clean, I help pay bills, blah 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 blah. And yeah, we'll start back there on the next video. So when I showed up, her daughter answered, and I was friends with Michaela, her one daughter. Her other daughter, Miranda, seemed to be jealous anytime I was there, or anytime me and her mom did anything. And at this point, I was also watching. She got custody of her one son, Paul. Pretty much, I think it was like every weekend or every other week. And on his first day of school, he goes, so I guess I can tell people I have 2 mommies. And she said, yeah, and it broke my heart. And then she would always tell me, me and you are moving to New York, we gotta get him away from this. And I believed her. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like I was so hypnotized, and I don't know. I really thought that she was probably the love of my life. I definitely had never felt that way about Josh. I mean, shit, the time we tried to get married, I tried to jump out the bathroom window at the church. They found me, and so I said I was smoking. Oh, and if you're wondering, the Sephora, it shows it backwards. Champagne mushroom face serum. It really does help with moisturizer, but it smells so bad. Give me a second. I gotta go get a napkin. Okay, so I think for now I am going to leave it where I'm at, because everything that involves Leela goes from about 2011 until 2014, but in between that is a lot of where I went to the what's it called, old people house. You know, where you recover. And then also a lot of stuff happened in between there to when I went back. And I feel like if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I really want to get this down. I'm writing it on paper, and I'm also just wanting to express it on here, so that when the book comes out, you guys have like an A to Z of exactly what happened. I'm just kind of going through the bullet points. And I want to see if you guys are even interested, because from this point out, there are a trap house, a regular house, a couple cars, more and more people moving in, moving out. Josh started to become very, very abusive. Virginia actually caught him twice putting his hands on me. And yeah, there's just a lot more to this story. So other than my get ready with me's, I think when I do take my makeup off, this is the perfect time to talk about it and just get it out there. So I'm going to upload what I've just recorded, and then I want you guys to be completely honest if it's something you're interested in, if it's something you're not. Jessica Kent really gave me the inspiration and not only like the courage to share what I've been through, and that people who are criminals in certain cases do deserve a second chance. So thank you, Jessica, and thank you for everyone listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.